I'm sorry, did I splash you when I clapped in? Because I'm soaked from my wrist all the way to here.
No, is it? I gave you a paper towel.
You did, but you soaked me.
Oh, yeah. You want a hairdryer?
No.
I can get the hairdryer.
No, I'm afraid you'd catch me on fire.
You'll electrocute you because the water in the hairdryer, I'll electrocute you.
Hi.
Hi, it's the Krisha and Frank show. I'm sorry. The timing was bad, okay?
It was.
The timing was poor.
That was,
We're on YouTube, and we're on all the audio podcasting apps, and we have our fabulous merchandise through Teespring, and you can find the link at krishaandfrank.com. Just put your readers on, your cheaters on, and look for the word merch, which I wish I could figure out how to make that
I have tried so hard. I've even used a million different templates, and for some reason, I think it's because Teespring does not like being linked to, like, they want people to go straight to because Teespring.
Well, we'll work something out. We'll make it easier. But anyway, thank you to those of you who have bought our fabulous Krisha and Frank show merchandise. Whether you get the hoodies or the t-shirts. Now, you're not using the cup here. You have this tea cup.
Because I have tea.
And
I was getting ready to make my tea.
You said, give me some water, and I had just refilled my
Well, you were
tumbler.
filling up the Brita pitcher. And,
I had emptied the Brita pitcher because of my own selfish needs.
Right. And I was going to just stick my cup under the tap. And you're like, no. Here.
You must have
the filtered water. And as you pour it into the cup, the lid pops off. And I just needed 1 cup of water.
Yeah, the unfiltered water that was in the top part of the Brita filter came gushing out like the splash zone at SeaWorld. And all over your wrist, all over your sweatshirt arm, and now you've got that uncomfortable. And I hate that because
that wet sweatshirt arm. Ooh.
When I wash the dishes, if I don't roll up my sleeves, and I hate that.
You get that wet sleeve.
Wet sleeve.
I did my dishes at 12:45 last night, and I did my laundry this morning.
Just pointing out.
I did my laundry at 1:15 was when I put my laundry into the wash. I got home from work at 11. And
man, you're working very long hours.
I ate dinner.
We talked about that in yesterday's episode. If you want to get some really cool, interesting, behind-the-scenes information about how show business works, that was a good episode.
Yeah, and I have not had a very good Lent.
Well, no, you have had a very good Lent because you got a job, full-time job.
Yes.
And I know we both talked about how I was going to give up sweets and you were going to give up.
I was giving up alcohol.
And then what did we do? we're out in Gatlinburg and we thought we should get some extra footage for after Easter.
Yeah.
So we bought donuts and went on a cider tasting.
Yeah.
Because we're going to show it later after Easter, but still, we blew our Lent right there.
So I've blown my Lent, and I had a beer that same day when we went to dinner at Aubrey's. And last night when I got home, I had 2 beers while I was doing Sunday chores in the middle of the night, and I was like, you know what? I've earned this. And so but the highlight of giving up alcohol has been great because I haven't had time to do so. I don't do anything anymore.
So except for a beer here or a cider there, which is, like you said, is a recent development.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I haven't been terrific about giving up the sweets. It's a struggle because, technically on Sundays they don't count.
Right.
Lent,
they don't count.
40 days. And if you look on a calendar, it's like 46, so you're supposed to subtract out the Sundays.
Well, see, I was fine. It was Sunday.
You're fine.
Look at that.
How about that?
Wait, today's Wednesday. Yeah, pretend it was Sunday.
Yeah, okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also, I have a big affinity for Easter candy. I love Easter candy. In fact, when I moved to Knoxville, I came to town during Holy Week.
Oh, wow.
And did my audition on air on Maundy Wednesday, so that'll be today, the equivalent of today, and tomorrow, Maundy Thursday.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Of course, I don't remember what day it was in real life.
Right.
But it probably was late March, I think, also that year. And one of the bits we did, Phil Williams and I did, was he picked me up at the hotel, and we went to a 24-hour Kroger near the radio station and bought a bunch of Peeps, because I, for some reason, was going to stuff Peeps in my mouth on the air, on Maundy Thursday, Holy Thursday.
That was one of the first things they ever had me do on air, was how many Twinkies I could eat in a minute.
Well, I told you this, that your program director was in the same building.
That makes so much sense.
I'm trying to explain this to you. Yeah, this is the guy who you worked for.
Yes.
When you worked at that radio station, used to work at a different company across the street. I used to work at a different company across the street, coincidentally, on the frequency that you were now on.
Right.
Radio stations get sold.
Yeah.
People move. So that frequency and that guy both moved over to where you worked. I worked with that guy and that frequency across the street at a different company.
And he was your peep peddler.
Well, he happened to be there. He was
Right.
working the big station, and I'm working the smaller station with Shane Cox and Aaron Snuckles and those guys. But we did the Peeps bit. But it made waves. It got me the job.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was funny. And I ended up doing it again a couple of years later with Ashley Adams, where I said, my record for stuffing Peeps in my mouth is 15, and I've got it up to whatever, more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Peeps.
So anytime I see references to Marshmallow Peeps, which I believe is
and you do
one of the
love
finest,
Peeps.
I think they're a fine candy because I love marshmallows, and these are marshmallows coated in sugar.
I like marshmallows and I like Peeps.
Makes them twice as good. So I get a magazine from Generic Supermarket. Mm-hmm. And I call it Generic Supermarket because here, as I'm showing on our YouTube channel, it tells you to make Peeps s'mores. Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty basic stuff. You melt a peep and you stick it between chocolate
Sounds so good.
and graham cracker. But I've also pioneered the idea of roasted toasted peeps.
Yep, you have.
Peeps brulee. So the recipe is 1 bar of chocolate, 2 graham crackers, 2 sugar-coated chick or bunny marshmallows.
They don't call them Peeps on
I'm
purpose.
outraged. Peeps is what that's half the fun.
Right, but the thing is,
They don't use the word peeps anywhere in there.
it's for the same reason that you said generic grocery store magazine.
Right.
Because they can't say Peeps.
Have you seen...
I like that we're saying Peeps, but not generic grocery store.
Have you seen any... There are very, very few off-brand Peeps.
There aren't. There better not be.
There's a couple. But
Ew.
Man, are they bad.
Yeah, no.
I have tried a few. They're nasty.
Yeah.
Right. If you're gonna waste your money or waste your calories, I guess is what I should have said, on empty calories, which is delicious marshmallow covered in delicious sugar, why not get the Marshmallow Peep? They're not that expensive relative to, you're not saving that much money to the off-brand. How many can you possibly eat? When you stuff 15 in your mouth, you don't want any more.
Yeah. I'm a good, give me 2 Peeps. I like two Peeps. And I don't like the other shapes. I like the
chicks or
the
the
chicks.
bunnies?
I like the chicks. I don't care for the bunnies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the bunnies have too much sugar coating ratio on the ears.
Yes, because the peep has that big bosomy body, bodacious middle of marshmallow. That
You just used bosomy to describe a peep.
Well, it's like a chicken breast.
Oh, look at this.
You can make all sorts of things.
I want to
There's
make those.
Deviled eggs that look like bunnies.
Oh, little bunny deviled eggs.
So what you do is you find some generic eggs. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't want to buy any brand name eggs.
These are good coupons.
Oh yeah, those. You ever look at the coupons from unnamed supermarket?
I don't get unnamed supermarket magazine.
You should, because they follow you, they track you, and they send you coupons for things you already buy.
That I need. Well, how do I get generic supermarket?
You've got to use their points reward
I do.
system. Well, update your address.
I do.
Okay.
But I don't get a Mazagine.
Do you use the? Or maybe because we have their credit card also.
Oh, I see.
Maybe that's it. To get more points,
I
we
do
use
not
their credit
like the
card.
idea of leftover ham pot pie.
I love the concept except for the ham part.
Yeah, not a ham fan?
Yeah, ham. If it were turkey or lamb, I think it would be a good pot pie.
Oh, look at the pickles.
So anyway, with these, but it's scary in a way where we get a coupon for a free jar of peanut butter every month.
Your personalized coupon book inside.
Right. Because they go through they track you.
I'm going to see what you buy.
That's what I'm saying, is you can get it. But then they also stick in some things that you don't buy, and they mix it in.
That you would like.
Because they were trying to get you to obviously spend more money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, I don't have a dog.
It's not for a dog, it's for birthday greetings.
Did you buy birthday cards at the store? At the expensive grocery store, Jerry?
Grocery store.
Grocery store? Because you can get them at Dollar General for like 50 cents.
You said grocery store.
You know why?
Because it's the generic grocery.
I was trying so hard not to say the name of the store.
You said grocery store. Did you buy greeting cards at the grocery store?
Did you go to the Krogery by any chance?
Grocery? Kroger's? grocery store. It's grocery barn.
Hello.
Well, I'm sorry that they stole your idea for s'mores.
Well, I mean, wouldn't mind if they just called them Marshmallow Peeps like they should.
Yeah, because that's just derogatory, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That would be like saying an egg-shaped peanut butter cup.
Now, I know you love the Reese's. I've been watching
that
this.
Facebook post that I made got the most reaction of a Facebook post that I posted in a long time.
Say what it was.
In a relationship with Reese's egg.
Because as we're scrolling, everyone sees in a relationship.
Right.
And they're like, ooh.
And I intentionally put some,
Yeah. Was it
ellipses.
Was it Callie Stelter who answered it legitimately about the ratio of chocolate to peanut butter?
Yes, and that's why they're so delicious.
She was 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just they don't have that ribbed edge, and I prefer it not having the ribbed edges like a regular. Don't.
I didn't say a thing.
I don't need it.
I didn't say a thing.
I prefer
smooth.
I prefer my peanut butter and chocolate smooth.
Picturing it smooth.
I like it smooth.
What I'm picturing.
Thank you. I like it smooth.
Reese's peanut butter eggs.
They're so good.
They are fantastic. No, Easter candy.
Are you just trying to spill everything?
Yes. Easter candy is, I think, better than Halloween candy.
I agree.
I think it's better than Christmas candy.
Oh, because you get robin eggs and
I love all of those. Mm-hmm. But I just something about jelly beans and.
Do you like spiced jelly beans?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think I am like the old school Brock's jelly, big old jelly beans that are just so.
And they're kind of gritty?
Sweet. Well, I like the red ones that are just so artificially cherry sweet. Mm-hmm. But because I love licorice, I used to eat Good and Plenty and other licorice candies, Black Crows they were called, or some other things.
Oh, Black Crows are so chewy. You're like,
yeah, but black jelly beans, a lot of people hate them. So I'm able to scoop up all of those.
I like the spice gumdrops.
I can see that.
And they've got like the spearmint, the spicy spearmint, and the white ones that are kind of...
spearmint leaves. I don't think they're an Easter candy, but just they're like, to me, they're a grandma candy.
My kid loves them. They are such a mama candy.
The orange slices and the...
and then they make like the candied fruit gels that come in like a cardboard package.
You mean like Chuckles that we bought at...
Yes. Yeah.
Ron Emery's 5 and 10? I can't remember the name of the store, but I can remember the guy who owns it.
But all time, the candied orange peel and dark chocolate.
Oh. That to me sounds like a Christmas candy.
It is, but at Walgreens, if you go to the tip-top shelf at Walgreens of the old people candy section...
How do old people get there?
Look, this is just where it is.
All right.
They have the orange, the gel, candied orange gel.
That is a good point. There is, in most of these stores, an old people candy section.
Yeah, it's right. It's sugar-free and old people candy all in the same place. And the only people that I know that eat sugar-free candy are old.
Yeah, the ones who, be careful, don't eat too much of it.
Right.
I made a joke recently about two guys that I know, in a contest to see who could eat the most sugar-free gummy bears, without explaining what would happen.
Oh. Yeah.
It's just a throwaway line. If you get it, you get it.
By all means, Google what happens if you eat too much sugar-free candy.
If you've read the online reviews for Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, you'd get the joke.
Yeah.
But I deliberately did it as a joke that only a few people listening would get.
Only a few people get my love and your love for Bone Zones.
Well,
and those few people need to be expanded.
It is pretty darned obvious that it's just a fantastic opportunity to have here.
That was a stretch of a segue.
It was. Here in East Tennessee, home to the University of Tennessee and the Body Farm and Dr. Bill Bass and bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. Because we want you to go there and shop for some of the goodies. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that there are some bookings for, I don't want to call them the corporate events, but some of the law enforcement events where Dr. Bass goes and speaks to a sheriff's department here, or he also does like a dentist convention.
Ooh.
They're starting to pop up on the calendar.
Ooh, that's good news.
Which means that as the folks who run the general public type venues, whether it be a theater or an event space.
Right.
And you can space out and you're willing to hire Dr. Bass to come in and sell tickets and do all the things. It means we're going to start having those gigs again, I would hope. But in the meanwhile, you can still read the books. You can learn more about Dr. Bass and the Body Farm at bonezones.com. Get great souvenirs that are fun. Get him to sign some pictures for you. Get a t-shirt, a hat.
And they have all the fiction books and nonfiction books, which I love.
Yeah. I'm a fan of those. I was talking to somebody about death and decomposition recently, and of course they're surprised. Like, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, well, I go to a lot of lectures. I read a lot of books. You've got
friends in low places.
6 feet under.
Bonezones.com. Don't forget the S.
So yeah, thank you so much for all you guys' support.
Ooh, buddy.
So I also love the fact that we're getting, I joke about, we joke about people dying on the show sometimes, but when my mom passed, I got in touch with her cousin Billy, whom I hadn't been in touch with for a while. He moved to Texas. Facebook friended his wife, Denise, at some point. I didn't realize that Bill was on Facebook. I think he maybe only recently joined. And he's just about 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So, he was like to my mother, he was like one of the little cousins,
Yeah.
And then, he told me he went to my parents' wedding and he's, 9 or
That's
8
so
or 9.
cool, though.
And he remembers it. He remembers looking up to my dad because my dad was kind of, that cool guy who wrote for the newspaper and had flown jets in the Air Force and worked for the governor and now was marrying his cousin.
He sent the most beautiful message on Facebook about your dad and about how proud your dad was of you. And I read it before you did on our Facebook. And I
wouldn't have seen it if you hadn't texted me to alert me.
And I sent you a text. I was like your cousin's message on Facebook, like it made me misty. And you're like, I haven't seen it. And then you never really said.
Well, I looked at it
in that moment.
I know this is. As I recall it was like maybe a Sunday night or something, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's cool.
That's sweet. That's nice.
That's nice.
It was so sweet.
And I read it, but I wasn't. I also at the time was doing one of my other side hustles.
Right.
I was recording radio or something.
Right.
And the meaning of it didn't sink in until the next day, when I had been. I've told you, I think on Monday's show, how I'm doing the yard workout, my workout plan, my lifting and bending and stretching. The exercise program is basically digging holes in the backyard, trying to, propagate fig trees or whatever it is I'm trying to do. It doesn't matter. I work up a good sweat and I feel good about it. Well, as I'm doing that, I was reminded of my dad. I actually thought, my dad would do this kind of stuff when he was my age. And I'm like, nope, he never was my age. He was dead by now. But he would go out there, and when we'd visit my grandparents out on Long Island, he would go out there. They didn't have a lawnmower, so you get this big, like a sickle or scythe or however you pronounce those things. And he'd be cutting down the bulrushes for them, and he would be earning his keep.
Right.
Because the family was invited to stay for free, but not in his mind. He wanted to earn his keep.
Right.
And then when we moved to Virginia, we had this house in the woods, and he bought a chainsaw, and he bought all these tools, and he's out there trying to, beat back the woods and the weeds and the vines and the kudzu, and it's just a never-ending process. So he'd go out there, and he would just work at it. Well, as I'm doing that, and I'm dripping in sweat, I'm reminded of my dad, and I thought, well, I'm uncomfortable, I'm in pain, but I was, for Lent, listening to some a meditation podcast.
Yeah.
The Daily Rosary Meditation Podcast. And one of the things they said you should do, and I'm not trying to boast about this, I'm trying to give advice to anyone else who wants to do the same thing, is you take this discomfort, whatever it is, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be anything, and you maybe offer it up for somebody who needs it. For example, a dead person who has not yet made it to heaven, and maybe we believe in the Catholic faith that you have an opportunity to purge yourself of these sins.
Right.
It's called Purgatory, where you get these sins are cleansed off of you, and really the best way to have it done is your living relatives pray for your soul, pray for mercy, and try to pray you into heaven. So I thought, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about, my dad's been dead a long time. I probably should have been doing this long before now. I felt a little guilty about it, but you know what? I'm going to take all this physical discomfort that I'm feeling.
That comes with the Catholicism too. Is the
guilt. I'm going to take all this physical discomfort that I'm feeling, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to offer this up for the souls in purgatory, particularly my dad, who has now been dead for 38 years. and because
Yeah.
and probably
I'm doing my part.
I'm a little late on that, maybe. Sorry, I probably could have done that sooner. But anyway, here we are, 38 years later. I'm
Procrastinating.
gonna pray you to offer up some physical pain.
Yeah.
Well, I woke up the next day, which that was Sunday, and I wasn't. I forgot. Didn't think about it. Woke up Monday, and I didn't have any physical pain. It struck me as odd.
You're like,
I was expecting to be more sore, and I said, but I offered it all up, and it went away. It's just weird. It's funny. Maybe you could argue that I'm more physically in shape from doing it every day, or you could argue that I wouldn't work that hard, or you could argue that somehow I managed to not have pain.
Yeah, you don't have to argue anything.
Right. So then I thought about that, and I thought, and then, so I offered that up for the repose of my father's soul, and then I get this message from Cousin Billy saying my dad is proud of me, and that's when it hit me, because I have always said, I never felt that I did anything good enough for my dad.
Right.
That drives me to do show business. It drives me to perform. It drives me to get applause. It drives me to try to win the award and be the winner, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Right.
Why did I enter that contest? Because I had to win. I was obsessed with winning.
But I mean, you've made it a productive thing for you. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, it's productive pain.
Yeah. But I've been obsessed with that idea. I've never, of my father always saying that I wasn't as good as my cousins on his side of the family, who were, all-star athletes and state champions in swimming, and they were skiing and blah, blah, blah. And his brother was this massively successful doctor. They lived in a mansion. Everything was, we're never good enough. We're never that. But then here, Cousin Billy on my mother's side sent me this message. Your dad was proud of you. He said, you hung the moon. And I'm like, no, I never knew that.
But it was right in that same moment of... Yeah.
So I was excited. So I sent I sent an email to my sisters.
I sent correspondence.
I did. I got out the old quill pen and dashed off a note to my sisters with telling them the story about work in the garden, offering up the pain for souls in purgatory, especially Dad. And then I get this lovely message from Cousin Billy. So, I'm implying, I didn't say it outright, but I'm implying that Dad is somehow signaling from beyond that he's okay.
He's good. Yeah.
God bless you.
Thanks for that prayer 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
1,000 years later.
After 38 years.
Appreciate you, buddy.
I'm now proud of you.
All it took was that one time.
One time.
Could have done this 38 years ago.
Could have really saved myself a lot of trouble. But that's kind of what I was implying, right? Yeah. Well, my sister sees that and writes 2 emails back. One is reply all to myself and the 3 of us, 2 sisters, and me. Some kind of nice, that's sweet about Billy Healy writing that, blah, blah, blah. Then I get another one just to me.
No CCs.
You think Dad is in purgatory?
I love that.
You think Dad's in purgatory?
Excuse me, you think Dad's in purgatory?
I've always assumed he was in heaven. I'm like, well, he might be. He probably is.
He is now after my one prayer.
My one prayer. I don't know. So I tried to write back as, I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll say, I learned in church that pretty much everybody in the Catholic faith, we all have that opportunity. We all, anybody really worldwide, we get to go to purgatory as this opportunity to purge our sins, purge ourselves, cleanse our souls before we're ready for heaven.
Right.
So I was kind of assuming that everybody went, not just Dad.
Right.
And not like the only one in there. And
your sister's like.
I put in there, I said, well, please, when I'm dead, please pray for me to get out of purgatory, because I guarantee you I will be spending significant time there. Like, if I live to be 80, you can pretty much rest assured that I've got another 80 to go in purgatory.
Oh, well.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Well, anyhow. So I'm
not saying you're just breezing right, you're passing by, you're like, what's up, guys? But
some people get to
I also
that.
know how much time that you've spent around me and what I put upon you, so...
Well, that's another example, is my father died fairly suddenly, and whereas my mom had to suffer through a lot of illnesses.
Right.
So that's part of what we would believe, is that, that earthly suffering can count, if you offer it up in the right way and appreciate it in the right way. So, I know it's Holy Week, so I'm getting a little sermony and preachy, but that was my response to my sister, is that it's not a bad thing to go to purgatory.
It's bad if your family, I mean, is it bad if your family, like the one person you kind of been waiting on, waited 38 years?
If everybody else is there going, I wonder, didn't?
If someone's like, hey, we're just waiting on your son. Like,
yeah, didn't he? Hasn't he been dead for a while? I mean, shouldn't he be here by now?
We're waiting on his kid, man. Like, he's waiting on Frank. Typical, just waiting on Frank.
So that's how that played out.
But you got the thumbs up. You got the heavenly thumbs up.
I hope so. I think that's what it was.
I think so.
I mean, yeah, I didn't ask Cousin Billy to send me that nice message about my dad. It came out of the blue. I mean, he's been sending us a lot of messages about the show, but then this one was like, one of these things is not like the others. It
came left field randomly. Yeah. So, yeah.
So thank you, Billy, for sending that.
All right. So tomorrow, Monday, Thursday.
Yes. Or Holy Thursday, we call it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a religious program, I don't think. I think we have other topics to talk about.
I mean, I could go back to my Greenway and get the Bible tract that the lady tried to hand me when I was there the last time. In the parking lot, creepily walking around to all the cars in the parking lot. She was like, do you need something to read?
And I was like, some of those tracts they hand out are explicitly anti-Catholic.
They're terrible.
They had that we had that issue probably about 10 years ago. There was somebody in Sevier County handing out anti-Catholic propaganda under the name of whatever Christian denomination they were in.
It's like, what are you doing?
Seems like an odd thing. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. If that's your deal, that's your deal. But when I was a server, at least once a month, you would get tipped a Bible tract, and nothing.
I never heard of tracts.
Nothing makes me want to convert to someone's religion more than being poor.
If you're from the north and you don't know what we're talking about, it's worth looking up. Bible tract, Tracts.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about them until I moved to the south, and believe me, it was an eye-opener.
It's something.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot for watching. And if you want to read something or listen to something that maybe is a little more fun than a Bible
than
tract.
the show or a Bible tract?
No,
okay.
I mean, I don't know. You could probably listen to Bible tracts. They probably have. I know there's a lot of religious books you could listen to online.
Yeah. audibletrial.com/Krisha Frank.
Yeah, check it out for 30 days. See if you like it, and download something in that first month. Maybe something religious, maybe something comical, maybe something whatever, philosophical, something deep that'll challenge your beliefs or make you learn something, whatever it is you want to.
Yeah, some self-helpiness.
Or there's, Agatha Christie. You get one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. So use our code when you do it, audibletrial.com/Krisha Frank. It helps us out, and you'll have a great time. We think you'll like it, or we wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm listening to The Hobbit right now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It must take years to get through those.
It's so long.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, back tomorrow with another Krisha and Frank show. Thanks for going to KrishaandFrank.com.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. You want to go pour water all over me again, or?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I got another paper towel, though. If you need something.
I'm good.
I got tissues.
I'm good. I'm having hair issues.
All right.
Okay, bye.